Good afternoon, everyone from New York State. We are talking Tom Nowetner, the conversationalist. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and ring the bell. Let's get it off the bat. We're going to tell you about St. Jude, wonderful organization that is helping children with cancer and other diseases. Now, I can't say too much about these people. They're just good people doing great things. And then let's go to Aortic Hope. These are survivors of aortic disease helping each other every day. Nobody gets paid. Everybody's there just to lend a helping hand to get you through the next day. Let's talk about PAD and where the heart is. I mean, let's understand. As you're getting older, you got to look for this stuff. Just because you have a pain doesn't mean you can diagnose it yourself. You need to have your doctor look at it and see that it isn't something that is going to cause more problems in the future. You don't want to be walking around with an amputation if you don't have to. So please, Global PAD Association doing great work. I mean, everybody would chop happy for diabetes, but now they're saving limbs. They have a new technique. Go over there and check it out. If you're having pains in your legs or your feet, check it out. And our last, that's it, right? Or did I miss one? Oh, rock from the heart, music, fun, food, good looking ladies. How can you miss? Support them. Go over there, tap on them, give them a follow. It's going to be a fun time. All right, let's do some little research here. So, where did all the Democrats go? Well, they went running for the hills. You know why they went running for the hills? Because Donald Trump is not making the same mistakes as he did the first time. You know how he collected all the politicians that he could, and because they all knew something. They sold themselves to him as experts in foreign affairs or in covert affairs or FBI. He fell into the trap, right? And before he realized he was in the trap, guess what? They got him. So we had to wait another 4 years to get him back. But he is picking some real hardliners, people who know the job. Let's roll a video and take a look.
Is really excited about some of the cabinet positions that Trump has selected. But I'm going to tell you right now, the thing I'm most excited about is this Department of Government Efficiency with Elon Musk and Vivek. Yeah, and the reason why is because I've not only served in the military, but I've also served in elected office for going on 10 years now. And I will tell you right now, unelected bureaucracies are a huge impediment to otherwise free societies. And going in and systematically deciding which one of them should not exist is something I am super excited about. Also, just if you are looking for applications, I did go to the Ron Swanson School for Slashing Government. So
So let's understand what we're getting ourselves into. Not only are we going to have people who understand physical responsibility, but we're going to have a watchdog over the top of them. Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that terrific? I can't wait to see the report on the Pentagon. I am just like kid at Christmas time. I am sitting here patiently waiting for that report on the Pentagon and the waste. And then I want to see the second report I want to see is the CIA report so we can do away with those lying whatevers. And then the third one, FBI, FBI. I hope it goes in and pulls a Twitter or X. 80% I want to see gone. It wouldn't affect one case that the FBI is working on. But 80% of those people could go tomorrow. We wouldn't notice the difference because they've been reporting their own statistics. Can you believe it? Their own statistics. What is going on in this world? How is a government agency able to restrict access to everything and just put out what they want you to see. You understand? Drives me crazy, crazy, crazy. But it is Sunday, right? And on Sunday we kind of put our hair down, relax a little bit. So the big conversation over breakfast this morning was all these cabinet picks. Oh, the chitlins were running around, and the adults were sucking down eggs and pancakes and French toast, bacon, and everybody had an opinion. Even my liberal daughter-in-laws had opinion. But you would have thought they climbed in the back of the trunk of the car and didn't come in for breakfast at all. I mean, well, that's another story. So anyway, let's talk about this. If you have this overriding agency, oh, wait a minute, we do. The GSA. That's what the GSA is supposed to be doing. My goodness, Tom, you got something out of your brain that it's been there for 40 years. Dust that off and spit it out, Tom. Well, let me tell you, the GSA is the auditor for the whole federal government, and they're supposed to know where every dime goes. You ever heard about any GSA reports in the last, I'll give them credit, 10 years? Because I haven't heard any GSA reports, from 20 years, but I'm old, and that's a different story. So listen to me. This is good. This is good stuff. So now you got Elon Musk and Swami Bablami coming in, and they're going to start basically just auditing departments. Oh man, I'm like, I'm in heaven. Anyway, you have to understand how really exciting this is to me. When you appoint the director of one of these departments, and it isn't just some political person who's in there to collect the salary and the bureaucrats are running it. Let me say that another way. You have all these long-time employees of the federal government. Get it? Do you understand? And they all have top-tier jobs. So it's in their interest to keep that going. You see? The agency gets bigger, perpetuates itself, they get better. You got to understand this stuff. I know you do. Think about this. So having somebody at the head, and then you have Elon Musk and Swami coming through the door after you. And they want to know what took $80 billion when it should only cost $8. Now, that might be an exaggeration. I don't know. But in my world, I'm thinking if I'm buying a hammer for like $39 and the government's spending over $100 for it, there's a problem. But then again, who am I, right? Just a face on the internet. Good looking face, but just a face. So GSA is going to get audited by Elon and Swami. Wouldn't that be fun? You go right into that place that's supposed to audit everybody else and just say, oh, by the way, this is your 2 weeks of notice and you only got 1 day. By the end of the day, you got to be gone. Take all your stuff with you. Oh, by the way, get a check because we don't want you stealing anything. And shut the whole GSA down. I don't know what the GSA budget is, but I can imagine it's a lot because auditors, they got to spend money to count money. See, I play on words. Spend money to make money, spend money to, never mind. Wasn't that funny? So anyway, listen, this is important stuff. So there goes the GSA. Now, can you imagine Elon and Swami going into the CIA headquarters and asking to see whatever the equivalent of the CFO, chief finance officer, and they say no, and Swami calls up President Trump and says, "We're at the CIA. The guy
We're gonna wait for
Plus,
Tom to
Trump is
come
already
back. Hold
talking.
on, Tom. You just faded out there for a second, and you're back. Here you go.
Thank you. So, like I was saying, so Shawami and Musk go into the CIA building, wants to see the head auditor, and they say no because you don't have an appointment or whatever. And Shawami pulls out his cell phone and calls the president and say, Donald, they won't let us in the CIA. And then there's nothing on the phone because they can hear him on the other phone telling the CIA director that his two gunslingers are downstairs. Open the gates. Now, see, I guess, being from the 50s and 60s, I'm a little more, no, you don't know. But that's another story. Listen, if I was Shawami, I wouldn't want to be Musk. I wouldn't want. But I would be Shawami. And I'd walk in and go, I want to see every employee's folder. And I'd look at him and all the obvious dupes and things like that I would pull out, but have my crew there with me. Cooper. Anyway, so Cooper's like going crazy here. Hi, Coop. What was I saying about the other thing, the CIA? So you audit the employees. I bet you a third of them aren't even on it. I know they're not on the premises, but they're no place in the world. They all got other identities to hide from. Obviously, not from the enemy, but hide from the CIA. Because let's face it, the CIA, when it was originally mandated, it was a lot to lie to our foreign friends and enemies and lie to everybody. And then all of a sudden, somewhere around 2000, 2010, the CIA, well, we know they go all the way back to Bay of Pigs, but that's a different story. They come out with this, we got a lot of people in the United States that we got to watch. Now, all of a sudden, they're spying on the American people. That's a no-go for me. I'm sorry. So let's just say within 3 days, Elon is out the door. Shawami's still there, and he's about ready to turn off the lights. Can you imagine that picture? You come in on Monday, you leave out Thursday morning, you turn off the lights and tell the security guard to lock the door. Oh, goodbye, CIA. The thing that makes me so happy is the Pentagon, the Department of Defense. I mean, I would volunteer with no pay whatsoever. I'd pay my own way. You wouldn't even have to put me up in a hotel or an apartment just to be part of that auditing team. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine the fun you could have? Hey, Peter, look at this one. You'd be doing that all day. Because, day before 9/11, Rumsfeld got on and told they could find like $6 trillion or some bullshit number. And then 9/11 happened the next day and nobody ever even followed up on it. So as far as I know, however many billions of dollars it was, is still missing and nobody's looking for it. So that's big time. Let's get over there. Bring your lunch because we're going to be there a while. So I'm not asking much, right? Am I gone too far? Well, maybe.
Well,
But
I
in
think you need to.
19,
I think you need to bring up the ATF and how that should be a shop front, and how the Department of
wait a
Energy
minute,
has
wait a
ruined
minute, wait a minute.
education.
I love you. But the ATF is like the other side of the coin. If Hitler was in charge, and I know that's controversial to say it, but I like it. if Hitler was in charge, TSA and firearms, what is that called? I can't even think of
It's
it.
alcohol,
It's
tobacco, and
cracking me up.
firearms.
Yeah, alcohol, all those three-letter agencies that don't have a clue. I see them as stormtroopers, bullet catchers. They run out there in front of the FBI to catch all the bullets, so the FBI can get a line of fire. All those agencies, ATF, the Farm Bureau. What's another one? FDA. Oh, the FDA that are protecting us from all dangerous food. But every year we have more and more chemicals, and now it's not chemicals; it is microplastics.
Oh, the microplastic things is a problem, but it's still the chemicals. Um, Earlier today, I saw a post where one of the mainstream media articles was trying to fact check RFK Jr. on Fruit Loops and the content that's in there, and they're like, other than all of
Oh,
these
all right.
things, it's the same.
What I don't understand, and I had a pause because I don't know how to frame it. I guess I'll just spit it out there, and I have good intentions and bad words. But all these agencies that we put together over the last, I'm going to be kind, 6 to 8 years that protect women's rights and gay rights and black rights and brown rights. And, we have all these attorney generals and people that just have, you know, degrees after degrees, and they've never been in the workforce. So this is the first real job they had. And they're out there zealously protecting everybody. I don't begrudge anybody their just due. If if somebody's if I have it, then you can have it. You see what I mean? It's that golden rule, but in a different version. So the beauty of this is if it's something that would benefit me, then you should be able to benefit from the same thing, no matter what. But it has to work in a two-way street. If you're, Black Lives Matter and you want to collect almost $500 million and spend it on houses for yourself, and nobody has a problem with that, I don't have a problem with it. You know, I saw enough money poured in Haiti that you could have made each and every person in Haiti a millionaire. That's how much money the Red Cross and Salvation Army poured into Haiti. And when we're done, if they had just handed everybody $1 million and left, they would have gotten out cheaper. So it's about people getting into situations and where they're over their head, but they got to, let's face it, you got to swim. You don't want to drown. So, and they make it up as they go along. And then we have these bureaucracies that are just totally wasteful. And these people who are so ingrained and they have no exposure outside. If you're in purchasing, well, every year all across the country, purchasing agents get together and talk about the latest, doodads and code written for this tracking system or that tracking system or auditing system. You get together with them, probably a couple times a year because they're everywhere. And you learn from other people and you see the advances. Well, government bureaucrats don't do that. They live in this little quiet little corner of Washington, D.C. So the other thing that President Trump, dun, 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 did was, or will do by executive order, disassemble DC. or the federal DC. He's going to move different departments and agencies out. Well, here's his thinking. And this is the real estate guy now. This isn't the president of the United States. This is the real estate guy who put this thing. So he's going to go buy land within an hour of the present building, which is going to be super cheaper, and hopefully it has a building on it. If it doesn't, they're going to build a building and move IRS out there so that they can put all the paper records they have from, they're supposed to only have 7 years, but they have from day one. Anyway, so they can put all their stuff there, because as far as I'm concerned, one of the nice things about what Trump had discussed about the IRS was not having the IRS. But you can also do the same. The only one I think you can't move is the Pentagon. First of all, we couldn't afford to build the Pentagon now. There's no way. Secondly, it has all the accoutrements, the security and all that stuff. So I guess the Pentagon's going to have to stay there. But everybody else can be moved. There's not an agency that can't be moved. And it's not going to be a hardship on the federal employees, because it's going to be within an hour of where they're going anyway. And most of them live an hour outside the city because they don't want to live in the city as federal employees. They're smarter than that. Of course, Washington, D.C. shuts down at whatever sunset is. That's a terrible city. But that's another story. So anyway, let's talk about Tom Wetner, the conversationalist. Like, subscribe. Give me a comment. Tell me how nice my hair looks. Share and hit the ding-a-ling bell so that you know when I get on here. Josh, the producer, the Wizard of Oz, is sitting in the background, always hovering, always giving me the finger. Thanks, Josh. So listen, I have another video. It isn't a barn burner, but it make you think. So if Josh can play that other video, we'll take it from there. Zippity doo dah. This is the entertainment portion of the program.
They just had a tooth pulled, and they had to. Yet, if you had a Cat 4 dental, they pulled your tooth because you can't be out in the field with a major, dental emergency, but there's no dentist. And so I deployed with a lot of guys who were like, because they just had a tooth pulled, and they had to. Yet we're now allowing people who used to be men or women join. And then after that, we pay for medical or physical transitions to another gender, which by definition makes them non-deployable and non-trainable because they're, and same thing with asthma medication or inhalers. Like when you're in basic training, you can't have an inhaler when you're doing your exercises because you can't count on having an inhaler in a combat situation. Well, if you're medically dependent on drugs to maintain your gender or a particular balance of chemicals inside your body, you're by definition non-deployable. And so they'd have soldiers who can't train, can't deploy, have been on the books, and yet everyone has to be careful about what pronoun you use with them.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with how effective a unit's going to be. And yet so something like that should be banned on day one in the Trump administration. We're not doing the and he did that. It got immediately reversed under Biden. Things like that, because it's a top-down. I'm not saying top-down is the only way that works. I know that. I know that you top-down things and people can ignore it and they can maneuver it and they can work around it. I just think there's enough of a core inside the DoD that if you push top-down and then you change the way you do basic training and the way you do recruiting and the way you do the military academies, you have a fighting chance to restore an ethos. Now, that doesn't say anything about how the politicians will use that military in the future, which they have a horrible track record of, but institutionally, you at least have a chance. Maybe. I mean, I think that one of the amazing, if I'm correct, I think he was the.
Now, this is the gentleman who's going to be in charge of the DOT. Do you understand? He is truly not of this generation. He is truly an old soul. He truly sees the need for female soldiers. but not in all aspects. You understand? He's not, he is just spitting facts. And why did I show this video? Because I wanted to show you the correlation between the bureaucrats and the people who actually, as we used to say, boots on the ground. The guys that are, in the end result is the buck stops there. They're the point of the spear, and you don't understand how much this correlates into the bureaucracy. Just if you're not the first dog in the sled dog line, guess what you're looking at for the whole day? And that's what's happening here with the bureaucrats. They're just looking at the back of the one before them. And it's like they don't see anything else, so therefore they stay as they are. I'm just talking about people, real people with real experience being put into, yes, some are politicians, but it's more important that you as American citizens understand the difference. I don't care about this guy or anybody else that becomes a director. What I care about, and most important with all this, is that they can do the job. I'm tired of paying secretaries of whatever, defense, justice, whatever, to sit on their ass 2 days a week and collect this big salary and this big pension and medical benefits for life, and not be able to even interact with the people that are really running the agency. Now we have a gentleman like this. He understands from the base level. And he's not afraid to tell you. He's going to tell you that women have definite pluses in combat situations that men don't. And then he tells you that when you go to the physicality, when you go into the other things, psyops is a big field and women dominate it. They also fly drones, in-field drones. I'm not talking about from, half a world away drones. Okay? I'm talking about people who fly them from the field. They're very good at it because they just work on their skill level at all times. They're more dedicated to it than the men are, because the men are out there and just want to, fix bayonets and charge, right? That's who we are as human beings. And he's pointing out that there are people in this world that are absolutely capable of handling this situation. So I'm very interested in seeing how. I don't even think Elon Musk and Swami has to go in and behind this guy. He's gonna clean the shelves and dust the corners, as my mother would say. It ain't done until the corners are done. So, I hope I'm making sense here. I hope this is something that you see as important to you as it is to me. That I have hope that we will have people actually running these agencies and divisions. And let's not forget Homeland Security. I want, again, another situation. I'll volunteer. You don't have to pay me. I'll go in and help with the audit. I want to know where all this money's going. I want to know how much of the pre-position tents and water and food and gasoline and generators, how much of that stuff gets lost, or is it out there so long that you just got to throw it away, or like that warehouse that burnt down with over $6 million worth of equipment in it. Yeah, they had the invoices on site, so they couldn't do an accurate accounting. I was born yesterday, but not just yesterday. And I know I most of the time have a stupid look on my face, but it's, it doesn't follow through. God help me. No, not God help me. God help you guys. I'm not I'm here. I'm not here for a long time, but I'm here for a good time. So, my friends, my compadres, the people that I am just chanting in the woods to, today's lesson, if we put it in a nutshell, is there is hope. We are actually going to see in Elon and Swami a hope, a bright light that's going to be shown in every corner of these agencies. And we're going to get down to the brass tacks. I hope it's a huge savings to the federal government. And then after a couple of years, when they pay off this debt because we printed money like it was confetti, maybe we can get our taxes cut. That would be nice. If we're not supporting all these bench warmers and their agencies, maybe that, maybe we can give some of this stuff back to the states and make it back the way it should be. Federal government's there for the big issues, guys. States are there for the, rest of the issues. We get the right to congregate together with people that, like us here in Western New York. If you're here, you love snow, and we're about ready to get dumped on. But if you don't like snow, there's places all over, like, East Coast down to Florida and across the Gulf Coast and Texas. Come on, all California. So you can be with the warm people. I mean, if you're a baker and you want to be with the bakers, I don't know. Let's use Pennsylvania, because the Amish, they make good stuff. Maybe you want to be in a garden, so you go to New Jersey, the garden state. Yeah, how can Jersey be the garden state? There's nothing but oil refineries up and down their coast. Come on, guys, get a new nickname. Do better. So it's Sunday. It's late in the day. It is for me anyway. I'm hungry. Ew. So let's talk about who we sponsor. We sponsor St. Jude. We sponsor Aortic Hope. We sponsor PAD, peripheral artery disease. And then we rock. Yes, we do. I know this is a short one, but that's all I got in me. There is hope. There is change. Let's hold on to it. 0101-2025. Be better. Do better. Start the movement. Spread the word. We can be better people to each other. And by example, teach our children, teach our neighbors. Be that one person that says, I can change. We all bleed red. I wish I could tell you didn't, but I've seen too much blood in my life. Everybody bleeds red. So enjoy what's left of your Sunday. Make sure that you do an act of kindness. Make you feel good and make somebody's day. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. Just do it. Whatever it is. Love the people you're around. Your family, your friends. They're important in your life. Well, my friends, this is Tom Neuner, the conversationalist. We're enjoying every day we're doing this. And I have another, 2.5 months before we have to make a critical business decision, as my accountant would say, Sal. So, Mr. Producer Josh, you have anything to close out with? Because I'm going to dump this door.
Oh, I just wanted to hear your thoughts on the Tyson fiasco.
I thought I'd get out of this without. I don't want to do any more advertising for these people. I thought I was clean out of here. You have too good of a memory. All right. Jay Paul and Tyson. When I did a little boxing in the city when, my brothers and I had to make a pact when we were about 15 or 16 years old that we wouldn't punch each other in the face anymore because our girlfriends were complaining about black eyes and broken noses and swollen cheeks. Can you imagine making a pact? You could be walking down the hallway, and if you weren't paying attention, somebody jump out and just whack you. And most of the time, you went for the head, but if the head was covered up with a book or something, you could get them in the gut or nothing below the waist. But we had to make another rule: no more punches in the face, because the girlfriends were complaining. Who does that? 50s and 60s kids. We were raised by the greatest generation who didn't give a shit what we did. And so the neighborhood raised us. That's the thought I haven't had in a while. So the Tyson fight, ding, 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 ding. About, I don't know, second round. All I could think of is Swan Lake to play. Because everything looked like it was choreographed. Now, Jay Paul, he got credit for 5 solid hits by 3 guys that he picked. Whereas there is a contract before the fight of how it's scripted. Okay. That's not boxing. What that is like Rocky. It's not real. It's just there for your entertainment. So that's what that was. Can I get an amen? I mean, I think somebody said, was it you, Josh, about biting his glove and signaling that he needed a rest or something?
That's what it felt like to me. The announcer was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he's always bit his glove before," and I'm like, "I don't ever remember seeing that ever."
No. So there was obvious things, right? And Tyson gets more money if he loses than if he wins. How's that work? Isn't that called rigging? You can't do that in horse racing. Let me tell you, you go straight to jail. Tyson, if you watch his videos from the 2 months before, never had a hip or knee problem. But he shows up with a hip problem.
He
That's
shows
why
up
he's,
shuffling.
you know, Jay Paul has a long reach. He's worked himself into a great physical specimen. I've watched his workout videos. The guy is intense. He's got a big mitt on him, and he has a long reach. However, I don't understand why his punches weren't harder. I mean, if you got like a 30 or 40-pound arm coming around, and then the shoulder and then the chest, you should be able to take a 58-year-old man off his feet. But that didn't happen. Wouldn't you rather talk about Bo Jones?
How did Cooper get in trouble today?
Oh, got a squirrel. So he was, being a good boy, he wanted to take it to mom. Well, mom ran and Cooper ran after mom with the squirrel. And mom cut zigzag through her gloves and a little shovel she was using. But nothing deterred Cooper. He kept after her. And finally, I think she got away by getting in the back porch and slamming the door before he got in. But if you look on the security cameras, you can see him walking back and forth between the 2 doors with the squirrel hanging out of his mouth. And then he puts it down, and the squirrel ran away. So he didn't even want to kill this girl. He just wanted to chase mom. That's another story. Don't tell anybody. I don't want her to know I told you guys.
Oh, that's
Keep it
great.
on your down low. All right, listen, my friends. Tom Neuwedner, conversationalist. I'm out.